Pleased to be here with Joe Crellin, the UK Department of International Trade's Trade Commissioner for Latin America and the Caribbean. So, as part of our wider window into the markets that are represented by our global business network, I want to sort of try and explore with you a little bit the markets that you're focusing on, the region, some of the opportunities they offer that the region offers to business, how you're working with perhaps the British chambers locally and within the region, and really looking at how you see the trade and commerce flow evolving over the next few years. So perhaps we can start by, first of all, tell us a little bit about you and why.
Yes, so my name is Joe Crellin, as you said. I'm the Trade Commissioner for Latin America and the Caribbean.
Yeah.
I'm based in Sao Paulo. I'm also the Consul General for Sao Paulo. And I've been in the region now for about 4 years. And a Trade Commissioner for the last sort of year as part of that. I'm a Latin American nut, so I have been involved and interested in Latin America since I was about 18, when I spent a year in Mexico. And the reason why I kind of care so much about the place is that it really is a fantastic continent, and a continent which I think has been a bit forgotten by the UK. If you look at kind of how our relationship, a trading relationship was with the continent, 150 years ago, we were really, really strong. We were really visible. Still, if you go today to Argentina or Colombia or Brazil, you will see the kind of vestiges of our trading relationship there, and the railways and kind of ports and all that stuff. There is so much opportunity there now, and so much interest in working more closely with the UK, that I just think it's a fantastic place to be able to kind of live and work.
So it's interesting that you mentioned that it's a sort of forgotten area or region. Why do you think that is, though? Is that an indication of perhaps the way the culture within the UK has evolved in terms of its international trade activity?
I think probably it has. I mean, if you look at sort of trade flows have developed over the last 100 years, I mean, we've become a far more significant partner to Europe and a far less significant partner in Latin America. And of course, more recently, the sort of vision has sort of gone eastward to China and India, and kind of out in that direction. So part of my job is basically to try and refocus the attention back to what Latin America has to offer, because I think though there are perceptions that doing business in Latin America is complicated and difficult and far away, the language barrier, all that stuff. And what I think the job that I'm trying to do is say actually don't ignore it. There is lots going on there. It is probably less complicated than you think, and we've got a great team of people through DIT based in 17 markets that can help you to kind of navigate that and help you to export, or help you to trade, help you to invest, help you to find the right partner, the right advice, the right opportunity. There is lots in those markets which is more similar than you would think, I think, to doing business in other parts of the world.
So talking about opportunities, because that's kind of what it boils down to, what would you say are perhaps the strongest sectors? I know it will vary from market to market, but maybe a little overview by market would be helpful.
So, I think there are lots of areas, of course, of the parts of the economy that we're interested in, but I think if you were to look at kind of where we think the biggest opportunity is, that would be around oil and gas, renewables, so the energy sector, mining, of course. I mean, the extractives are really important in Latin America. Infrastructure, education, security, hugely growing financial and professional services, obviously, but also quite interesting, growth in things like food and drink.
Yes.
Growing demand for British products in that area. Life science is really important. I mean, essentially, if you look at the kind of what Latin America, the kind of structure of the economies there, these are places which are often developing, and where there is a growing middle class. There has been, and there is a growing middle class, and with that comes the demand for all the sorts of public services and also private goods that the UK is so good at providing.
And propensity to spend.
Absolutely.
Well, how you mentioned the sort of British products and interest in Britain. How is the British brand perceived, I suppose, in
really strong? Yeah, no, it's fantastic actually. I mean, the British brand is very, very strong. We have a history there, which we probably have forgotten a little bit about, but actually out there still remains very, very strong. The British have got a reputation for quality, for trustworthiness, for being really good partners.
Yeah.
And there is a real desire to kind of do more with us. So what you saw, for example, after the Brexit referendum, was a real sense of enthusiasm for what our relationship could be in the future. A sense that actually this would be an opportunity for the UK to shift its gaze and become once more the partner for the region that it has, was 100 years ago.
So there's obviously a clear appetite, which
huge
incentive
huge
for
appetite.
British companies. And on a sort of practical level, obviously, as you know, we're trying to grow our global business network. We have a group of members within the region already of British chambers and business groups there. We want to grow that. On a practical level, how do you engage and connect and work with the local British chambers?
The local chambers are really important to us, and we have got where they exist. We want to build stronger relationships with them. We see them as being a real critical partner because they're the business representation organisation. They have the knowledge, they have the membership, and they often have the kind of expertise and pull through to areas that, of course, we don't. So we see them as being a really strong partner. They don't exist in all the markets that we operate in.
Yes.
So we have those partnerships in Mexico and in Brazil, Peru, Chile, Colombia, and as I say, we want them to make those stronger. And we would love to kind of work with kind of nascent chambers anywhere else to make sure that we are collectively between us doing the best that we can to promote and support British companies doing business in the region.
Fantastic. And what value do you see the Global Business Network, particularly if we're growing it and strengthening it, bringing that to you in your role? How much help will that be?
I think it's really important. It's a really good forum for bringing together real people who are doing business in that market.
Yes.
So as we sort of try and work out, where the government can add most value, understanding, what business wants from us, and we do that on an individual basis with the companies that we work with, but kind of bringing that group of people together via a chamber and understanding what some of the kind of transversal issues are which affect businesses in a region or in a market is really, really important. And that is why we've been so kind of keen to support, and strengthen the role of the chambers locally. There's a really important role to play there, which is very different, distinct from what we do.
Fantastic. And what about the flip side, the UK chambers? So obviously we have a very strong, complete national reach within the UK.
Chambers. We are really excited about this because one of the things we know about Latin America is that we have perception problems. And we think that the more that we can be explaining what doing business in the region is like and providing some sort of knowledge, but also kind of talking to people about what the opportunities are like and what it's really like to do business there, the more likelihood is we're going to get companies coming to visit us. But we can't do that alone, of course. We have to do that by their partners in the UK.
Yes.
And the chambers are fantastic for that because they offer a reach into all of the kind of regions that we want to work with the sorts of business that we want to spend time talking to.
Yes, fantastic.
So that we're really excited about working with them.
That's super. And I know you have a roadshow coming up.
We do,
soon,
absolutely.
So
Thank you for the prompt. You're quite right.
Okay.
We do. So we have a roadshow. We've been building the first, but hopefully not the last, Latin America roadshow. Which will be visiting 5 cities in the UK, starting off in Glasgow and then coming down to, I think it's Leicester, Leeds, Reading, and then London. We're working with the chambers locally to make sure that we're kind of, making sure that companies are aware of this roadshow. And we're bringing some of our experts from our markets, 8 of our markets, our biggest markets in Latin America, to come and talk to, basically get face to face with companies and tell them what's going on and hear the questions and hopefully be able to provide some real information and a real sense of how we can do business together.
Lovely. Thank you so much, Jo.
It's a pleasure.
All the best.
Thank you.